Hi, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marcella Christina, and on this channel, I teach women how to become their highest selves. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I am in New York City, and today is a rainy day. It's kind of gloomy, but I am not complaining. I'm super happy to be here. So speaking of complaining, that is going to be our topic for today. So the thing that brought me to make this video today is because I think that complaining kind of has a veil over it. A lot of the times we don't think of complaining as what we're doing. We think of it as just like reacting to a situation, or basically we feel justified in our complaining. And I started to notice that that's very, very detrimental behavior. So let's hop into a few ways for you to learn how to stop complaining for a better life. Number one, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So I'm sure we've all heard that from like grade school. Your teacher would tell you that, like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. If you have nothing kind to say, don't say it at all. And as simple as that seems, there's a lot of truth to that. But I do want to take it a step further. First and foremost, we should not be saying anything negative at all about anyone, about ourselves, period. But it goes a little bit further than that. We also should not be thinking anything negative about a person at all either. So the reason why I said that complaining is a bit of a mystery to most people is because they believe that if they're not verbally saying it, that they're not complaining, when that's the furthest thing from the truth. If you're complaining inside of your own head and no one else can hear it but you, guess what? That's still complaining, right? So we want to make sure that we're not complaining and we're not being a source of negativity for ourselves or for other people. I think that in the beginning, you're first going to start to notice how to control this by first deciding not to share negativity. Okay, you might not like this woman's shirt, but you don't have to say anything about it. And I'm not telling you to not be honest. I mean, if you don't like the shirt, you don't like the shirt. I'm not telling you to like force positivity. But instead of standing in line and staring at her shirt and thinking about how much you can't stand it, maybe look at the flowers, on the other side of the room that you do like, right? It's just putting you in a better state of mind. It's kind of a live and let live type of vibe. So as long as we're not speaking negativity, we're not storing negativity, and we're not sharing negativity, we're pretty much on the right track to stop complaining. Number two, accept what you cannot change. This is so big. I think for a lot of us, this is where we begin to complain and not notice it. This is when the complaining starts to spiral and take on its own energy and a mind of its own. Let me set the stage for you. It's a hot summer day. You are sitting on, you know, a bench and it is super hot. You can't understand why it's so hot. You looked at your weather app and it said it was going to be 75 degrees. Now it's 95 degrees. You don't understand. You did not dress for this weather. And now you're sitting here and you go, oh my gosh, it is so hot. And you're just like super frustrated. And here's the thing, it's reasonable. Like, the complaint that you're making is reasonable. Everything pretty much feels like it has quote unquote worked against you for that day. But the fact of the matter is, it actually didn't work against you. Things happen, weather changes, right? And if we had that mindset and the awareness to say, wait a second, this is just something that's beyond my control. I do not get to turn on the thermostat for how hot or cold it's going to be today. There's nothing to complain about. There's nothing that I could possibly do in this moment except just accept what's happening and what's going on around me. That was something that I struggled with a lot in the past. I wasn't the person that would complain necessarily about things or people, but more so circumstances, especially when I felt like things were beyond my control. I am a planner. I am a girl that likes to have everything I like to dot my I's and cross my T's, right? So when there's an element that I can't control, it brings the most frustration out of me. And even though frustration is an okay emotion, how I express that is something that I had to learn how to work on. So once I was able to do that, I was able to not only conserve my energy, I was able to conserve my time. So now, instead of spending time complaining about something, I was able to use that time to maybe reassure myself, right? Like, okay, Marcella, you did everything that you could do today to set yourself up for success. This decided to happen. That's beyond your control. Let's continue to sit on this bench, or let's get up off of this bench, or whatever it is that I was doing in that moment. Let's move on from here. I think just giving yourself that word of encouragement helps a lot, and it puts you back in the driver's seat, as instead of letting your emotions like take you off, right, on a tangent. It keeps you positive, it keeps you in the right state of mind, and that's exactly what we want. Not to mention that your time could be better spent elsewhere. So instead of thinking about all of the things that happened leading up to that event, maybe I could be thinking about the next place that I'm going to, or, a better place to sit, or, you know what, this is not a place that I want to be right now. It is too hot. What's the nearest like movie theater or whatever it is that I can like, the nearest pool, anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, how can I change the situation so that I'm comfortable, so that I'm happy, so that I'm back in my zone? That's a better use of your time than spinning your wheels, right? Thinking about all of the things that led up to this moment. It's better to just refocus, spend your time positively thinking about something that is going to ultimately put you in the best position. So, the third way to stop complaining to better your life is to be more progressive with your time. So, a few years ago, I decided to use the term progressive instead of productive. I noticed that being productive actually wasn't the goal for me. At the time, I was learning how to best use my time and what exactly that meant for me, in the sense that, was I doing busy work? Was this work actually moving the needle? Once I started to differentiate the two, it became clear to me that I needed to not be productive, I needed to be progressive. A lot of the times, especially when you have a corporate background or even just growing up in school and academia, a lot of the work is busy work, and it serves its purpose at the time because learning comes from repetition a lot of the time. But when you're stepping into your highest version and you're learning how to execute at a high level, then busy work is not as much necessary because you have the fundamentals. You now need to learn how to be progressive. You need to learn how to use the tools that you have to move the needle forward. When you're progressive with your time, you walk and you don't talk. We've all heard the saying, you can't walk and talk at the same time. Whether or not that's true doesn't even matter, because the whole goal of this channel and the whole goal of becoming our highest selves is to continue to walk and do less talking. And we want to be walking out our purposes. We obviously come to this channel to talk and amongst ourselves, right? But this is the part of community, right? This is a part of sisterhood. This is a part of learning from each other and sharing resources and information. That's a different type of talking. But when it comes to our actual life's purpose and the roles that we have, oh, we walk it out. Be progressive with your time. When you're progressive with your time, you're walking, as in you're doing, you're creating, you're showing up, as opposed to talking, right? Complaining, talking about what you could be doing. Aha, that's something. Now, not only is complaining all negative, but sometimes complaining is, oh, I should be doing this. I should be going to the gym. I should. So if you should be doing these things, why are we not doing this, right? So we have to make sure that we are being progressive with our time and actually doing things that move the needle. And if that's not even the case, maybe you are a-okay with where you are. Even if that was the case and you didn't want to do anything else, right? You had no desire to be progressive today. At least spend that time being happy. Instead of being upset or being negative, at least spend that time being happy. At least spend it sitting there and enjoying sitting there, right? It doesn't make sense for you to not do what you want to do or not do what you said you were going to do and be upset. You might as well find some type of happiness, because if not, then what was the point, really, right? That's a way to be progressive with your time. If you're not going to actually walk, if you're not going to move the needle, then at least be happy, because you might as well be. So the fourth way to learn how to stop complaining for a better life is to stop thinking negatively. This is going to be something that I really dive into, especially the first quarter of 2025, because it's out with the old and it's in with the new. We are done with the negative thinking. We're done being negative to people. We're done thinking negative about ourselves. We're just done with that. The thing about thinking negatively is that it only creates more negativity. And this is why I really want to spend time and make this its own series, is because I need to really go in depth and teach you guys the many ways to spot the traps in your thinking, because a lot of us are not willfully thinking negatively, though there are some. Most of us are falling into traps of negativity from past experiences, our old selves, whatever it may be. The point is that I need to be able to dive into this topic a little bit more so that you're able to spot the traps and I'm able to highlight them so that you can see them when they show up in your thinking. But the point is, you want to be able to stop thinking negatively, because now you're going to be able to rewire your brain, right? When you're used to a certain type of thought pattern, that thought just keeps showing up and it keeps showing up. And if you're not cautious of it, if you're not aware of it, if you're not conscious of it, that's going to take the lead, right? That's going to run the show. When you decide to stop thinking negatively, you are now short-circuiting that. You're now saying, okay, whatever this direction is, I'm gonna stop it. And now your brain is forced to deal with, okay, well, if that's not where we're going, where are we going, right? Now you stop that thought midway and you're able to say, actually, I have a better idea. And then you guide it in this new direction. And if you're on this channel, you know what direction that is. We are going to be uplifting. We're going to be positive. Now we get to spend that time guiding our brain in a direction that's actually going to fulfill our purpose. It's actually going to benefit us, right? It's actually going to build us up. And this is why I like to think of it as a way of training your brain to serve you. This is when life becomes easy, right? You have life on easy mode now because now you show up and your brain is doing the work for you because you've told it exactly what it is that it needs to do before it got there, right? This is what we're doing with our day. When it's this time, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it. And the brain is just like, absolutely, like whatever it is that you say, right? Because it just wants to go basically wherever it is that you tell it to go. When you stop thinking negatively, you give your room space. You create space in your mind. And whatever it is that you decide to fill that space up with is entirely up to you. Of course, I am only going to recommend that you fill it up with things that speak the truth about you, which is that you're wonderful and that you deserve the absolute best in life, right? That's what you use. You take that information and you now fill your brain and your mind with that. So first, it takes creating the empty space. I feel like a lot of creators just hop right into, oh, you need to be positive. You need to be positive. Absolutely. But I think first it takes creating the empty space because what it does is it creates distance and you're able to start to learn how to become an observer in your own mind. Once you see that space, then you're able to actually fill that space in with all of the good things. And the fifth way to stop complaining for a better life is to learn to always see the silver lining. If it's one thing that I've learned in my life, is that there's always a silver lining. It's just about whether or not you are trained enough to see it. Every lesson that you've ever learned, whether it be from childhood or something that you learned last week, whether it came from positive emotions or negative emotions, if you think about it, it's still something that you can use and apply today. However it ended up, you were able to take something from it, and that's now in your toolkit, and you're able to use it and pull from it whenever a situation arises that would need it, right? So it was beneficial. The thing is that that happens more often than we think. And it takes us making a conscious decision and conscious effort to actually see the silver lining in every single situation that presents itself to us. We have to accept that we do not know everything. We have to accept that there are things that we are still learning and that we are growing and that that's why we came here, right? We came here to learn, we came here to grow, and we're going to have to learn just like how we learned our ABCs and our 1, 2, 3s. We have to learn how to see the silver lining. So don't beat yourself up if you were never the person that was able to see it. We didn't come out of the womb learning how to spell our name. We had to learn that, right? We had to figure all of these things out. Some things are taught in schools, some things aren't. But either which way, it's still something that can be learned. So you want to train yourself and train your mind on how to see the glass half full. I don't know how old I was when that concept first came into my life. I don't know if it was from a family member or from a teacher, but do you see this glass as half empty or half full? When you're young, it seems like such an innocent question, and I think a lot of us still don't truly understand the magnitude of what that question is. But do you see what's there or do you see what's not there? Sometimes you want to see what's there, and sometimes you want to see the potential, right? You want to see what's not there. But the point is, you want to always be training your mind to see both what is there, what is not there, and, pick and choose what's the best, right? Pick and choose what you can work with and what's actually useful for you, and then lean into that. With all of this, what happens is you become a more optimistic person. You begin to see things that other people are not able to see. You're able to now walk into the world and see opportunities. And not only see opportunities, you're able to attract opportunities. And even better, you're able to create opportunities just because you understand where you are and you understand what your capabilities, right? Like everything is here for you if you want. You can do exactly what it is that you want. You can create exactly what it is that you want to see. And the awareness of that comes into your mind when you're in a positive state, right? You can't see these things when you're in a negative state. Negativity is going to close your mind off. You become pessimistic. Your world gets smaller, it shrinks. When you look for the silver lining, the world gets bigger. There's more opportunities. There's more people. There's 8 billion people and counting. There are more people. There are conversations that, you have yet to have. There are people you have yet to meet. Every day is exciting. Every day is an adventure waiting to happen. And that's really the point of life. That's really why we're all here, right? Every day we want to show up to life and get the best that life has to offer us. And I truly believe that the only way we'll be able to do that is if we stop complaining, if we learn all of these 5 things and truly put these practices into play and make it a part of our lives, because then we'll be able to truly appreciate what it is that we have and then create what it is that we want to see. So I thank you so much, my love, for being here with me today. I hope these tips help you, and I hope you find new ways to incorporate this into your life. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite and which one you're excited to try. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and become a part of the family. We'd love to have you here with us. Until next time, my loves, take good care of yourselves.